Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. After a long wait, Arsenal are back in the Champions League group stage draw, and we are here to react to it live.
Go on again, man.
What a
I'm
voice.
excited.
Beautiful voice.
Where's your rendition of it? Because last year you was annoying me with that Europa League rendition. So where's your Champions League rendition?
No, but you got to understand, the Europa League one's anyone can do
You
that.
prefer that one, yeah?
Whoa, yeah.
I hate that.
Maybe
man.
I should have sat with you, Rob.
But
Because
with
maybe we
Riddance
should
to
have-
that music, man.
I can't get that high. Can you?
Turkish
Yeah.
Man ain't a singer still.
I'll talk about the song. We're live here on YouTube. Get your comments in. Let us know who you want in the groups. We're gonna go through the pots any second. Turkish Fest. Are you guys excited for this?
I am, I can't lie. It's been a long time. We've had to wait for this. I'm tired of the Europa League, but I feel like we should have won it in that time. But I don't ever want to step foot back in that competition.
That is one regret I genuinely have about it. Like, okay, cool, we never wanted to be in it, but some very, very big clubs have won it because ultimately you get to a point where you go, all right, we're in it. Let's go all the way. It's a European trophy in the end. And it's frustrating that we never actually did I think a couple semi-finals, one final, but never had a proper go at
Who cares
it.
about that, man?
No, but
Won the Europa League.
No, I'm excited though. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this draw. I'm excited this week as an Arsenal fan. I mean, it's transfer window closes tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll maybe make a signing. Champions League draws. We've got a big game on Sunday. It's been a good week. I'm excited. It's good to be back, and obviously the final is at Wembley as well. Hopefully, listen, we're not going to be there yet, but if we get there,
our record's good.
it's good at Wembley. It'd be nice to have.
Do you know what? I can't believe
there.
that we haven't been in the Champions League for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, when I first started doing this channel, it was like a standard thing that Arsenal will be in the Champions League. Remember, we used to get mocked. Oh yeah, you only ever get top four.
Yeah.
But we were always in the Champions League. And when we dropped out of it, I thought we'd probably be back in it in like a year's time. We'd drop out of it for a year, and even I remember at the time, even a lot of people were sort of saying, oh, well, you know what, I don't mind being in the Europa League at the moment because different destinations, we would go Bayern every year, we go Dortmund, we go this. I would get some different places to go and visit. We're doing it for 7 years. You know what I mean? So it just goes to show, man, it's been, and in that time to be watching every year Tottenham, like in the Champions League, that's what's made it even worse. So to be back in the Champions League is fantastic. It really is.
It's the fact we've never even in that 7 years had like at least a year back, because if you look at the last 7 years, I don't think Tottenham have been much better than us. I mean, okay, a bit, but they got to the Champions League final, they had the Poch run. Yeah. Man United, I don't think they've been much better. If you look at the last 6-7 years, they've had that year where they managed to get themselves back in it, or get that fourth place, or win the Europa League, or do something. And we have just struggled to go. But we're back. We are here. We're gonna go through the pots and the teams.
Before we do that, let's send a big respect going out to Eddie Nketiah, and give him a round of applause. Right, even that hater over there in Turkish,
Look at his clap.
7 years. You're talking about 7 years of the Champions League, but listen, this kid, right, has deserved to get into the England squad. He's earned his an England cap today. Started the season really, really well, and I think all jokes aside, I think he really, really deserves it. I'm really happy for him. You know what I mean? And I think it could do wonders for his confidence. Not just in the Premier League, but in Champions League games as well. You know what I mean? So well done to Eddie Nketiah for getting into the England squad. Still peed off that Ben White is not in that squad. I do not understand what's going on. How can Harry Maguire has not played a game for Man United this season? He got stripped to the captaincy. Calvin Phillips has not played a game for Man City for about... When was the last time he played for... How's he in the England squad?
This is just standard Southgate. This is why I've lost love for kind of international football. Yeah, you're right. You list those players that aren't good enough for their clubs, aren't playing for their clubs, and they're making it week in, week out. That's why, even though I'm not really that bothered about England, I actually kind of prefer the players to have a break a little bit, but I get it. It means a lot to them to play for their country.
No, it's great for Eddie.
But for Eddie, I'm delighted because that must be a great confidence boost. It's nice to see a player who's doing well actually get recognised for it. Raheem Sterling wasn't in the...
no, he didn't make it, and he started the season well.
I do want
crazy.
That's mad. I do want to highlight what Robbie said as well. Like Eddie Nketiah, I think what's loomed over Eddie as well is the fact he was the top goal scorer in the under-21s, and I think he held that title to quite high regard, but it never really broke into the men's national team when it comes to England. So I think this is a really big thing for him. I think he will really go to another level from this call up.
If he does well, and we don't even know how much because obviously the main guy is Harry Kane.
Of course.
But say he comes on and he does well, it could be a bit of a game changer for him, because there is a bit of narrative around him that, he works hard, but that's, but if he say got into the England team and banged a couple goals or whatever, banged a goal and, starts to figuring that more regularly, that'll do well for his confidence as a player, so well done.
Good to see. Big up Eddie.
He's worked hard for it. Well done.
Yeah, the draw is soon. The road to Wembley. Arsenal have a good record at Wembley. Let's get there first. But we do have a good record at Wembley. Turkish, when we did the predictions, you went for Arsenal to make it to the final. Is that based on? Because I don't want rival fans to mistake this or mistake quite what we're saying here. Because I actually agree with you. When we were last in the Champions League, there were teams around Europe. I thought, oh my word, they're a level above anything we're playing against in our league. Whether that be Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. And I feel like the quality has kind of decreased a little bit, actually quite significantly. Real Madrid still do their thing in the Champions League. Bayern have just signed Kane. But it feels like it's a competition we could attack more than we could back then. But also that says a lot about how far we've come to a degree.
Yeah, obviously when you're asked a prediction based off of nothing in terms of no group stages, we don't really know the layout of our journey through the Champions League. I've gone for final. Reason being because, listen, we've talked about 7 years it's taken us to be back in Champions League. And to be honest, when we dropped out of Champions League, I think we deserved to drop out of Champions League. We wasn't at that level. It's all good and well making it every single season to make up numbers, but I'm not here for that. If you're in a tournament, you need to be challenging for the tournament. So essentially, when we dropped into Europa League, initially I thought this was our level. Let's go and try and win it. And when I look at the last 6 years prior to last season, we deserved to still be in the Europa League. Now, last season was chalk and cheese in comparison to the years prior to that. And we finally deserve to be back in the Champions League. We finally look ready to be back in the Champions League. So if we're ready to be back in the Champions League, then I'm not going to say this is our first season back, be light on them. No, you should want to win everything.
I agree.
So I'm looking at minimum quarters, semis, and ideally a final. Because when I look at the competition, the other day on the mock draw, I said, aside from City, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, who are you afraid of? Now, afraid is probably the wrong word to use, but who are you most weary of is probably the better way to put it. City, Real and Bayern Munich. A lot of people, when the clip come out, laughed about that. Then the odds come out on the Champions League. And who's four favourites behind City, Bayern and Real Madrid? Arsenal.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I look at those, and don't get it twisted, that's not me saying Napoli can't knock us out, because Napoli are a quality side, or a PSG on their day. Of course, I'm not sitting here saying Arsenal are the best thing since sliced bread and we're going to go win it or we're going to go close to it. But that's what I want us to do. I don't want to be back in the Champions League just to make up numbers. I want to be back in the Champions League to ruffle feathers, make up some noise. Inter Milan was in the final last year. Tottenham was in the final not long ago. Why can't I suggest or hope that Arsenal reach a final this year?
I think it's completely fair. Get your comments in. There are 6,000 of you watching. Hit the like button. Subscribe to AFTV and let us know your comments, your thoughts. Best in the World says Facts Turkish. A lot of people agreeing with you. There is a live blog as well on AFTV. So if you miss any of the live reaction here, you can go and catch up on everything and how the draw went down. Well, by rewatching the stream and joining the live blog on the AFTV website. Go check out all the great articles and writing going on there. Robbie, should we go through the pots and just remind ourselves of who we could get?
Yep.
We've got in pot one, we cannot get Manchester City, but they are in pot one. Sevilla, Barcelona, Napoli, Bayern Munich, PSG, Benfica and Feyenoord. I'm going to ask everyone here who they want from pot one. Robbie?
Feyenoord. I mean,
I wouldn't mind the trip to the Netherlands.
Feyenoord, you want... Listen, every one of those teams in pot one have earned the right to be in there because they're top teams. And actually, Feyenoord, they play some great football, actually. If you actually watch them play, they won their league. But if I look at the teams,
their manager need to go to Tottenham.
That's right. Yeah.
What's his name? I forgot.
Something Snot or Slot or something like
that.
Something like that.
Yeah, Snot. But there's some top teams in there, man. You know what I mean? There's Napoli, great side, really, really good side. Bayern Munich with Harry Kane, who I just got a feeling we're going to get.
Got a feeling.
PSG, Mbappe. You know, they're rebuilding at PSG, but they've got a great side. And Barcelona are on the way back. You know what I mean? They've got assembling a really good squad. They just signed Cancelo now as well. You know what I mean? They've throughout that team, you know, Lewandowski's still banging them in. They've got really, really good players. So there's some really top teams there. So, you know, you want to get, you don't want to end up in no group of death or nothing, right? So start off with getting a nice, you know, beatable team in that pot one. And yeah, then I'll be happy.
Yeah, pot one is scary.
Who do you want?
Who do I want? Bayern or Barca?
Oh my days, Turkish.
I think I'm with you. You know.
I want revenge.
You man, you should be on the same table.
No,
man.
but
It's
listen.
time for
What
revenge.
do you want Bayern for? Harry Kane.
I'm not looking for a group of death.
Bayern are not the same Bayern they was when they was flying when we was in the Champions
Still
League.
really good
still.
though.
They are still really
Still
good.
really good.
But apparently we're really good now. From what we've seen last season. So why
Not last
should we?
week, though.
And I don't want to be back in Champions League playing Feyenoord, we could play in the Conference League for fuck's sake.
And beat in the Conference League.
Yeah, but,
Right, so-
but
so-
we're here to play Bayern Munich and Real Madrid and Barcelona.
It's our
and
first.
PSG.
It's our first season back. I want to progress through the group. That's what I want to do. I want to make sure we progress through the group. So, personally, I'd rather avoid one of those teams for now and get them later. Remember, we ain't been in it for a while. Let's get ourselves up to speed.
Do you know what this
Let's-
reminds me of, yeah? Do you remember when we used to drum Barca, Bayern, Barca, and then we got Monaco and we're like, yes. What did they, that was even worse than Barca and Bayern.
Yeah.
I remember that Monaco game, man.
So,
Oh my
That was
god.
painful.
the
That was
Champions League level,
Giroud masterclass. That was. We've got a poll up. How far will Arsenal go in the Champions League? You don't have the. You're not allowed to vote round of 16 because that's where we always go out. So group stage, quarters, semis, or final. Let us know in the poll. We'll have a little look. I'm going for semis. I don't know why. Let's see. 35% so far going with the quarters. Cess, who did you want from pot one?
Oh, Sevilla. I'd love a nice, you know what, they're 20th right now in the La Liga, I think. Yeah, they are.
Are they?
They've lost every game so far this season.
But
So
the only thing about Sevilla is that they're a
Love
they're good in
Europe.
Europe. They are. I know how they've done well in Europa League.
what
I
they've
hear
done to
that,
United last
Yeah.
time.
I know.
defensively
Yeah.
they're quite resolute. They
Bro,
know
they've
how-
lost
especially,
every
but
game
especially in
this-
Europe. Like,
They should actually have beaten City as well when they played them in that Super Cup.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying as well. They've lost a lot of players. They're in a bit of financial trouble.
Who's in there? I think
I wanna- Sevilla I'd take.
Sevilla, man. Always a nice little trip. You know, I'm the opposite. Just pot one, especially. By the way, look at the team, bro. Let's just get that one comfortable, and then we can have maybe one big game in the other pots. But yeah, Sevilla.
I want Barca or Bayern because
All right.
Bayern.
let's have some fun.
Barca.
No, why not? Come on. Like,
Why
this
are we
is-
here?
Yeah,
Why are
I
we
think-
here?
I think that
Play them
Back
later,
in
to play
6
them later.
years,
Bro, I don't
people.
care. We
What's
should,
going
also
on?
got-
we should
think-
never have been out of it. First year back or not, Arsenal should never have been out of the Champions League.
But
But
we're
like I said, we
struggling.
deserve to be. Now we're back in it. Are you saying we're not ready to be back in it?
I think we're ready to be back in it. I think we're ready to get to the
don't-
finals, the knockout. I want us to get there, but bro, we struggle against Fulham at home. I know it's gonna be different against that time, but straight away Bayern, you man, wait till the knockout.
Turkish, remember we used to be in pot one. So we used to
Yeah,
avoid all
yeah,
these teams
yeah,
straight
yeah.
away. Right? So, you know.
But now it's just
remember when we was in pot one.
pot one we used to
Mad.
be in, man.
For constantly being there, they just went, you know what, we'll invite you, give you a seat at the top table because for 25 years you're constantly in it.
My worst moment, maybe
it's got to be Bayern.
top 3 moments in life, not just football related. That Champions League final against Barca. I want to see us win a Champions League.
You know, that
before
was
I die.
that was the first Arsenal game I ever watched.
Yeah,
Do you know I was at that game? Me and Laurie were at that game.
We've seen the
Oh, I've
pictures.
seen
Seen-
the photo,
you seen
yeah,
the
the
vi- there's,
photo.
there's actually a guy sent me a video the other day
Oh, so-
of me and Laurie in the crowd. So this was a video of us in the crowd now, and it was painful, man. It was a great day. It was a great day. The Arsenal took over Paris. I remember everywhere you went, there were Arsenal fans, and we started. You know, we got that goal, Campbell, but the sending off, you got the sinking feeling, but we still. And I always have so much regrets about that because I just feel that we should have won that game. You know what I mean? If we would have had 11 men on the pitch, I think we'd have won that game.
maybe if we had 10 and Almunia wasn't on it, we would
Well,
have.
then that's it. If we'd had 11 men on the pitch, he wouldn't have come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was. And then it's painful to know that we got to that final. Should really have won it, even against a really good Barcelona
great
team
side, but still.
that had some great players. You know, remember they had people like Eto'o, Ronaldinho playing for them. Like those, right?
And Belletti comes up
right,
with the goal.
and we were toe to toe with these man, but it's a regret because then and since then we lost that, and then Chelsea have gone on to win it. Liverpool, you know, it's we've got to win. Our record in Europe for a really big club has been really poor, and we've got to first of all we've got to re-establish back ourselves as a European powerhouse, which is what. Even though we hadn't won it, we were always in it, and we were always in around it, weren't we? People, you know. Yeah. We've got to re-establish ourselves with that, and you never know. Cup competitions with a bit of luck. You never know where it can take you. Who's this saxophonist on it? Get on with the draw, man. You
Do you know what?
Yeah, it's UEFA. They're
going to milk it.
What were the awards when they brought out Big Shaq? Do you remember when you were singing? Zidane was sat there. Just,
what is this?
That is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, by the way.
I had dancers, man, not anything. All the people in their suits just like,
what is going on here?
You shouting out Modric and everyone. That was incredible. To be fair, I don't know if that was a UEFA event, but it was
hilarious to
funny.
see though. To be fair, when they started this, I looked, there was no one in the seats. Like, this could be a long, there was no one in there when it started.
Who do we think that, where are they? Do we know? They're in like Switzerland or something.
I don't know.
I don't know where they are.
Do one of Mikel's there?
He's in Monaco.
Is it in Monaco?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Not a bad place to have it, I'll tell you that.
Balogun might be there.
Balogun could be there.
Constantine with the super chat says Turkish again, the only person talking sense. We played easy teams in the Europa League, and what did we do? Let's get revenge and compete with the best.
Played easy teams in the Europa League and got through the group.
And then you want us to go.
Right, and then later on, now you take on. I mean, just get out.
The group teams were probably part-time teams more than easy teams. Them group teams, Dundalk and.
I'll have that, man. Get out of the group.
I like Bodo, man. Big up Bodo. Had a great time over there.
But you said get back to being a European powerhouse. I think the quickest way we can get back to being a European powerhouse or looked at as a European powerhouse is beating a European powerhouse.
In the knockouts.
The earlier we do that, the better.
I'll give you the other thing about it, right? So when you get those teams early, right, you're under a lot of pressure in that group to get through, right? So. Because remember, only the top two go through. Third place, you drop into the Europa League, right? So you want to be in those top two places, right? So if you know that you're in a group with, say, Barcelona, Napoli and that, you know you're up against it to get into them top two spots because you could then get one of the teams of the other pots that are really good, right? If you get an easier group, you can hopefully get the group done and dusted early. Say you won your first 3 games, you're more or less there. Then you don't have to even think about resting on introducing a few other players who don't normally play all the time and that. So getting through that initial group.
But what about
and we ain't been here for a while, so just confidence-wise.
What about like when you look at how young our team is and the lack of experience that maybe cost us at the end of last season in the title race, and definitely the lack of experience in the Champions League. Let's say we have an easy group. Let's say we top that group and then we go through the round of 16 because we topped the group, we got a favourable tie, and then we face Real Madrid in the last 16.
I agree.
That moment is amplified so much more than it might have been had we had played a big European powers in the group stages where the young team can kind of get their heads around an away trip to Munich or away trip to Madrid.
But then look at it this way, right? Like, for instance, last season, Tottenham had an easy group and they weren't playing well. But because they had an easy group, they got through it. And then had the chance to go on, and really, if they hadn't messed up against AC Milan, they'd have been in a semi-final.
No, but you know the thing about Tottenham's group, and this is actually something I really want to avoid. You said they had an easy group, but actually,
Marseille and
but I think they had what I call like 3 like awkward teams in that Sporting Lisbon, Marseille, and who was the third? Let us know in the comments section. What I mean by that, all 3 of them, I thought. I expect them to beat them at home.
Exactly.
But like all away.
No, but you know what? If in the Champions League, more or less, if you beat all your teams at home and then you win one other, you're through. You know, or even draw one other, you're more or less through. You know what I mean? On 10 points. So, Listen, I wouldn't mind an easy group part. Listen,
Timber and Emirates says.
We're going to find out what we get. You know what I mean?
Timber and Emirates says excitement, passion after ages. Last years of Wenger, players like Özil took Champions League for granted, and we gradually dropped out of it. Just need one forward like Watkins minimum, and we can go far. James is waiting for the Champions League tactics. He's not wrong about that. Sebastian says if we are prem title contenders, then it shouldn't be a matter of who we get, and when we get them, let's get revenge early. # Turkish note. Frankfurt, that was the other team. Like Frankfurt away, Sporting away, and Marseille away.
You can deal with Frankfurt. Listen.
Come on, you're supposed to be.
You not say, come on, like these are not exactly the ties that we lost every single time we're in the Champions League group. We'd do our job at home, and then we'd go away. We'd lose 2-1 at Shakhtar Donetsk. 2-1.
Yeah, but we get through.
Yeah. So what do you want? Bayern Munich, Galatasaray, Milan? Is that what you want in your group?
No, I want.
You win those games at home, right? And then you win at least one of those away.
I want Barca or Bayern or like a proper, like the test that Turkish are talking about, pot 1, and then want pot 3 and pot 4 to be, with all due respect, easy. Kind of, we can walk it, not walk it, but you know what I mean. Like, that's what I think that's a better.
That's the perfect way. You know you're qualifying top 2, but you've also got that test there.
Should we go through the other pots and just remind ourselves of who? Let's go through pot 2 because Arsenal are in pot 2. We've got Real Madrid, Man United, Inter Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, RB Leipzig, and Porto all in pot 2, along with Arsenal.
None of those.
We cannot face any of them. Pot 3: Shakhtar Donetsk, Red Bull Salzburg, AC Milan, Braga, Lazio, Red Star Belgrade. I had to zoom in on that one. PSV and FC Copenhagen. So, do we have a favoured one from pot 3?
Copenhagen.
Yeah, Copenhagen.
I'd love a Milan trip, but
Copenhagen's probably
Copenhagen.
You don't want a Milan. You see, that's what I'm saying. That's when it starts to get hard now. All of a sudden, say you got PSG and Milan in your group, or Napoli and Milan, or the group's starting to then now all of a sudden look like the group of death.
But why is Milan seen as like a tough game, but Marseille...
They got to the semi-final last year.
But Marseille last season wasn't. They finished,
as well.
they finished second in France.
No, but they didn't even get out of the group, Marseille. They couldn't even beat Tottenham, right? AC Milan got to the quarter-final, got to the semi-finals.
They done well.
Semi-finals they got to. They got players like Rafael Leao.
Giroud was there.
Right, they got top players, man, you know what I mean? Right, so,
Imagine Giroud back.
Pot 4, let's go through pot 4, everyone. Real Sociedad, Galatasaray, Celtic, Newcastle, we obviously can't face because they are English as well. Union Berlin, RC Lens, Young Boys, and Royal Antwerp make pot 4.
Young boys. I see you on the flight anyway. I'll see you on the flight when we go out
Young
to these
Boys
places,
or
man.
Royal Antwerp.
Antwerp for me would be the easiest of the lot.
So what Italian teams are there? Napoli in pot 1.
Lazio.
And AC Milan in pot 3.
Who do Young Boys cause
Is there a
problems
pot
to?
4?
Juventus got dropped out.
Was it United when they played them and they beat Young Boys beat them, no? Or did they?
Was it Tottenham they played? Young Boys.
I might be,
Young Boys have got a few big victories in Europe.
Yeah, they've done some big. Yeah, they've done some big upsets.
Union Berlin wouldn't be an easy game. You know, I mean, they got good support. They'll bring enough support abroad as well.
Is it really good away there, that one? Yeah.
Yeah. They've got great fans, and Union Berlin would not be. They're a decent side. They are. I mean, I'd expect us to beat them, but wouldn't be easy. So
they're chatting away in the UEFA. Boardroom.
I bet David Dean's there.
Lots of important
The suits.
people.
Oh, there's Vinay. If you look straight through.
Oh yeah, we can. We can see Vinay there.
Come on, David Dean will be there.
Hello, Vinay. I wonder what's he doing there? Well, Vinay Venkateshan.
What do you mean? What's he doing? There's football clubs in the Champions League.
No, I know, but
Dude's there as well. Yeah, Dude's next. You can just about see us.
That's the Man City director of football there.
Because he's CEO, Vinay. Like, he doesn't do the footballing operations side. I don't think anyway.
I wonder if Arteta's there.
They're the PFA awards, the other night. They're travelling.
But
they should be there.
I mean, well, he's not playing, is he? Not like Arteta's going to come back and say, "Oh, but I'm knackered," because I've been travelling. He ain't playing, is he?
Yeah,
so it's probably Vinay and Edu there.
Yeah,
Edu's there.
And maybe some other dignitaries from the club.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's a nice little
it'd be cool
smooth up, innit?
Yeah. It'd be cool if they took their club captains, like Martin Odegaard there with, I don't know, who else would there be?
Yeah, I don't think they go there yet.
Yeah, they're just showing footage of City lifting the trophy. Did that hurt anyone here? Was anyone like another club that have lifted this.
The treble.
A
It's
little
just
bit
the
for me,
treble,
yeah.
right?
It did for me.
I mean, yeah, the more
not
clubs that
hurt,
win it
but-
before us from Premier League, obviously it adds to our frustration that we haven't got one. But listen, you know, Man City, they're a powerhouse. They're the favourites for majority of competitions every single season. It is what it is.
Yeah,
and
they
there's
spent
one-
enough money to get there, and I mean, they built their
Yeah,
whole,
I mean, they've
the
got-
whole thing's been built around, you know, them and
Winning
PSG,
this, yeah.
It was-
around winning this. So, you know,
That's the thing. It's the most frustrating thing about, you know, we kept saying, but where's your champion? Like you lot haven't won a Champions League yet, and now they've done that and the treble. It did hurt a bit, if I'm honest, and I didn't really know many Man City fans, but since they've done that, there's quite a few that seem to pop out of somewhere to give me a stick. So yeah, it was a bit annoying.
Adam says he wants Bayern, Lazio, and Union Berlin. That'd be an
Bayern,
awful draw.
Lazio.
that wouldn't be the
too bad.
easiest.
No.
What are we thinking about clubs like PSG? I mean, Messi and Neymar aren't there anymore, but Mbappe, who I think is the best player in the
He's
world,
unbelievable.
is. You know, PSG might not be. They might be going through transition and kind of redefining who they are a little bit as a club, and they've had managerial problems. But
They might be
I
better.
think Mbappe is just. That's the thing.
It might be better.
It might
because-
be more
Yeah,
together.
they'd be
and
more of a team now. You know what I mean? They've made some good signings, man, and they might be more of a team.
Yeah.
Right? Because remember, you know, I mean, basically before you had Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe. None of them are going to trap back. None of them are going to close down. You know what I mean? So, you know, but now the only sort of luxury player they've got, and you can't even really call him a luxury because of what he does up the top,
yeah.
is Mbappe, and then everybody else is going to be working. You know, everything's going to be built around him. So.
Truthfully, even if they're not a team per se, just Mbappe alone, what he done in the World Cup finals, just, he
frightening.
can just say, all right, switch on, and it can be devastating. That's why
frightening.
we keep saying PSG, they're not, you know, they haven't done so well in this competition, but I just feel like there's a fear there they can just go.
And very difficult place to go, really atmospheric stadium,
Yeah, I've been
great
there.
fans,
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
good. It's been, it's
wouldn't
nice.
be easy, you know what I mean? So I don't want to get them yet either.
Yeah, no,
Their fans are, their ultras are, yeah.
I don't want to get them either.
Expectation can weigh you down, and I don't think this is probably
Yeah.
the first year for a while. There's no expectation that they go on to
point.
win
Yeah.
or challenge for the Champions League. So
There are 11,000 votes in this poll. 34% are saying the quarterfinals, and then there's a 50% of the votes have been split. 25% for the group stage and 25% for the final. So people feeling very.
is that in the chat?
That is in the
Yeah,
chat.
but we've got a lot of ops there, man. 100% there's United fans there voting group stages. There's Tottenham fans voting group stages. Yeah, don't
A lot
worry
of people
about
believing though. I asked a question in the office earlier to Laurie and Cess, which I'd love to hear your thoughts, Turkish and Robbie. How much does this draw? You might think I'm crazy, but let me land here. How much does this draw impact what tomorrow's deadline day looks like? Because if we get a draw that they think, you know what, we can breeze through that. You could bring in Rule Walters and you know, give him some development time and all that. We'll probably be okay through to January. But what happens if you get a really tough group and suddenly they look at it and going, we don't have the numbers. Tomiyasu and Zinchenko are injury prone. Can you rely on them? Then you've only got 4 genuinely reliable defenders with Timber out as well. Holding is on his way according to Fabrizio Romano. Cedric's about to be on his way. Tavares has gone to Forest. Do you think this group can impact what happens on deadline day?
Possibly yes, but I think, you know, it shouldn't, because I think, you know, whatever happens, right, we need to go out in the transfer window tomorrow and buy at least a defender. I spoke about it on transfer day this morning. We're short already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, let's not forget that the Asian Cup's on this year, so we lose Tomiyasu for a little while for that.
AFCON.
And AFCON's on, we lose Thomas Partey. So that's, you know, and then, you know,
They have to bring
you
someone.
effectively, all you've got is, you know, you've got Gabriel, you've got Saliba. Saliba was injured for a big portion of last season. You've got Zinchenko, who's been injury prone. You know, Ben White.
Gabba Magalhaes, we don't know what's going on there.
And that's
as
it.
well. Yeah.
And even Partey's been injury prone. You know what I mean? He's been, as we know, right? And Tomiyasu's been injury prone. So I think that whatever happens, we have to go out tomorrow and get a defender of some sort.
When's the Asia
You know,
Cup?
Yeah, when is
The
it?
Asia Cup is, I think it's January as well, isn't it?
Oh,
Or-
my dad.
Or was
know
it
that.
just? Was it December? But
know.
it is on this. It's on this year.
I know,
Or
I know
this
AFCON
season.
is, and that will affect us. I don't think, just quickly off the back of that, I know we spoke in the office, but I don't see Arsenal panicking in the sense of if they get someone, we need to make a signing now. I think Robbie kind of mentioned it here, like they have everything prepared of who if they are going to bring someone in, it would have been prepared within weeks
Plans
ago
have been
or
thrown
week
off by
before.
the Timber injury, though.
Yeah, and the thing that frustrates me, I actually think we've had a good window. I do. I just think it's another year where we haven't addressed proper backup for Saka, and that has been a topic of conversation for at least 3-4 windows. And then you look at the Timber injury. Havertz is struggling. Raya at the moment hasn't had his debut. So you're only looking at Rice as the only proper, reliable addition to this team for the foreseeable, for the near future, for the next 6 months. So I'd be amazed if they don't do something. When I look back at deadline day 2 years ago, they signed Tomiyasu for 17 million. And he was exactly what we needed. A really solid, dependable, good on the ball, but defends well fullback. We need Tomiyasu 2.0. We need that second signing, just like that. Nothing. We're not asking Arsenal to go and sign another Timber. We know that's very difficult to do. But getting a proper, dependable body who can come in and do something, even if it's a loan for a year.
I think they're looking at. I think they need a player that's versatile, that can, probably play in a couple of those positions across the back, whether it be centre back and right back or left back and right back. I think we need a versatile.
Do you think
defender.
they'll get someone?
I personally do think, I don't know who, but I do think we will. And as we get close to this now, we're on the verge of finding out who we're going to get. They're just showing us the pots again on TV. It shows as we get near to this competition now that you have to have a big squad to cope with this. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of people have sort of been looking at Arsenal and saying, oh yeah, we got enough. Right? Because they've just been thinking about the Premier League. But now, you saw the Carabao Cup draw yesterday, the draw today that's about to happen. All of a sudden, you're starting to see the magnitude of games coming our way.
Yeah.
Some of those teams you spoke about, you're not resting no one if you're going to Napoli. You're not resting anyone if you're going to PSG. It's different to the Europa League.
Yeah.
You can't rest anybody if you've got Barcelona away or home.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great.
That's the difference. You know what I mean? Because even if you're through in a group and you go and rest up and you get pumped by a team, that doesn't set you in good stead for the next stage.
I don't think we have enough depth. I really don't. I think we have to. Move
I think up front,
in this window.
we've possibly got enough depth to get through.
Eddie Trossard, Jesus.
Trossard, Jesus. You've got Saka. There's a lot of goals up front. I know they could do with a super duper striker, but there's no one there. There is no one out there.
I know. That's true.
Right, but where I feel the issue is now that Timber's out.
Yeah, that threw a lot of us. Threw me massively.
Round that back line. And so, it could be very thin with a couple of injuries. You could be looking at a very thin.
He was transformative, by the way.
He was.
That little time we saw him, he
gutted
was
about that because
honestly, he was class. He was a quality player, and it's a shame he's injured. But
somebody to cover what he was going to do, because let's be real, ACL, we're not seeing him. And if we do see him, it'll just be like the last couple months of the season. Right? Yeah. In other words, we've only signed 3 players. You look on it that way, because he's not going to really fit. Even if he does come back, he's going to have to ease back in. Unless he's Superman. And even if he's Superman, it'll be January before we see him.
And if he comes back the same, we don't even know if he's going to come back off the ACL. Some players do. Some players
the
really
signings coming in have got to be ready to play, because I said it's not Europa League. Can't send 3 academy players to go and play even a Union Berlin or something like that. You can't do it.
No, you can't.
It's a different competition, and this is where it's really going to test Arsenal as a club this season.
Yep.
We're going to be tested. Europa League, So
we've got a super chat from Adam, says he's an Arsenal fan and he voted for the group stages. He then asked, what's the bet that we get the group of death?
It's written in the stars we get by, and that sounds so bad, but Harry Kane there, please.
Ray says after all these years of progress, we tie with Fulham. Who really cares who we get? Let's see who we really are and what our squad is worth. Barca, Bayern, Napoli, Arsenal. I still fancy us though. There's another super chat. Dave John says need a world-class striker in the mould of Cecil G.
I'll take that.
And you take that whole one.
Ouch. I'm a good striker, man.
Let's just remind everyone one more time of the groups of the pot. And who Arsenal could get in pot 1. We can't get Man City. We could get Sevilla, Barcelona, Napoli, Bayern Munich, PSG, Benfica. Feyenoord in pot 2. We can't get any of them. We are there ourselves. Real Madrid, Man United, Inter Milan, Dortmund, Atletico Madrid, Leipzig, Porto and Arsenal. Pot 3, Shakhtar Donetsk, Red Bull Salzburg, AC Milan, Braga, Lazio, Red Star Belgrade, PSV and Copenhagen. And then in pot 4, Real Sociedad, Galatasaray, Celtic, Newcastle, Union Berlin, Lens, Young Boys and Royal Antwerp. Those are the various groups. They're going to pull out the teams from pot 1 first, and they're going to distribute them from groups A to, is it G? A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
I think it is
H.
G.
So there's an H.
Is it H?
So I think so. So they're gonna pick the pot 1 teams. They're shuffling the little Champions League. I think Joe Cole is Joe Cole.
Here's Joe Cole, yeah.
Joe
Ready
Cole.
to pull them out the hat.
Abidal's there as well.
Yeah, Eric Abidal, yeah.
What a player he was.
Who's this guy that presents the
He's always
How
there.
that ball's still moving like that, man.
Yeah.
I don't trust nothing with these.
He's
things.
Nah, he
Words,
doesn't
Robbie.
trust.
No, I'm the same.
Here we go.
Right,
The
here
first
comes the first
team
one.
coming out of pot 1. Remember, Arsenal are in pot 2. Is Bayern Munich.
Here we go.
Bayern Munich.
Here we
Group
go.
A, Harry Kane.
Fucking go.
Straight into Group A. Harry Kane. Who's the manager? Thomas Tuchel.
Yep.
So they've been trying to sign a few players from the Premier League all summer, from Kyle Walker
Yeah.
to Chalobah to
Yeah,
they got Harry
McTominay.
Kane. McTominay was
They
wanting.
inquire about Havertz.
Havertz.
They
Yep.
wanted Kai Havertz.
They wanted
They wanted
Yep.
all our players that we kind of signed. Timber as well. They came in
Second team going into
Rice,
pot
they wanted
B.
Rice.
David
Sorry,
Raya?
into Group B.
They wanted
Yeah, they want
Raya.
everyone. They want everyone.
Sevilla.
Sevilla.
Sevilla have been. Oh, I get nervous.
It's getting exciting, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
this is what we wanted to be in, man.
it's
This is
sweet
what
of
we
us
need to be in.
It's sweet of us, you know. Obviously, they've got a replica of the Champions League trophy there.
Yeah, we got the real thing.
Yeah, we've got the.
Borrowed it off City.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to touch it. It's what the ribbons.
Jack Grealish brought it down yesterday. There's a few dents in it, you know what I mean? Where he got peed off.
That's why it smells of alcohol.
Third team, Napoli, top of Group C. Hope we're all remembering this. when we
I'm
get
definitely
pulled out.
not. Sevilla, Bayern, and
That's a good
Napoli.
point. Let's note this down as we go. So it's Bayern Group A,
Yeah,
and we have Sevilla Group B,
I'll let you do it.
and
then we
Napoli.
have Napoli Group C.
I do want to
Group
ask
D.
at some point, does Mikel Arteta have pressure in this Champions League? Is there a lot of pressure on him, like massive
And
pressure or
it's
not?
Benfica.
We'll get to that after.
There's
Benfica in Group D.
Well, we'll have that
We'll
conversation.
find out
after.
who's in the group, Seth. It's hard to know. I mean, I don't know. See who's in it.
People say we've got to compete. People say you want to get.
Yeah,
in
there
groups.
is
They're like,
pressure. You spend a lot of money. You know, yeah, there is pressure.
I don't. Okay. Yeah. Well,
But there should be. We're Arsenal.
it should be. You're right. It's all
And
right.
now in E, Feyenoord.
Go off.
Basically, all the clubs that would have been favourable ties have been picked out so far.
No, I
No?
want Group B, man. Group B.
Maybe Benfica, Feyenoord, and Sevilla.
Give me
have been picked out.
Sevilla.
Someone's having a bite to eat during this, so have some respect. What's the next one? Joe Cole, being very careful.
He
with
is
it.
being very careful.
PSG are in Group F.
Maybe it's been a while, but I prefer the old format where
Yeah, well,
where
they
they
just
pick
the
the groups.
Yeah, I thought that's what I thought. I
They
honestly thought
picked
it was like
everyone
that.
for the groups.
Yeah.
I think I imagine the reason they do it is because if they need to switch
One of the
anything,
clashes, yeah.
like clashes.
They used to be able to cover that.
Yeah.
2 to
I
go.
prefer the old format.
G is ooh
Who's left?
Man City.
Man City. So we can't be in that group.
Yeah.
Look at Jesus' face.
It's dead tense. All those months of fan cams 2 years ago. Do you think we'll get top 4 then?
Literally.
We
Final
are.
team,
Far teams. Who's left? I don't even see.
Benfica, right?
No, Benfica been selected.
I don't know.
Have they?
Barcelona, isn't it? Yeah.
Barcelona, yeah. All right, so we're about to find out who
Right,
we're going to
here we
get
go,
now.
yeah.
Oh, we're about to find out, or are they
Which
going to do?
which one of the big dogs we're going to get?
Yeah, the
Or they can do
Into-
10 minutes of chatting now.
Barcelona and Group H.
No, they
10
got.
minutes of, oh, well done, you pulled out pot 1, that's amazing. They should almost not even bother with pot 1. They should just distribute them randomly.
Exactly, and then
And
just
then go on with pot 2.
Pot 2.
What does it matter?
Real Madrid.
But anyway.
Crazy.
Eddie Militao's not even going to be there if we play them. He's got his knee injury.
in it.
Rashford there.
There he is, Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
Inter.
I'd have loved Inter. All my cousins are Inter Milan fans.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're a good side. You would have loved them, yeah? To play.
Dortmund.
I'd have loved to have played them.
I would love to go to this ground away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly.
Dortmund.
No, I've been
Oh,
Dortmund.
yeah, true. Yeah.
Atletico, that's a tough team to get in the Champions League, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't been there. I've been
Yeah.
to Allianz. I haven't watched
We
Arsenal
like
play. I've been to Allianz.
Also, can you imagine Arteta versus Simeone on the touchline? That'd be carnage.
Porto, always a
Wouldn't
team
mind
with a
a
lot of
Porto.
pedigree, Porto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pedigree.
Hey. Arsenal.
And they show a Fabio Vieira.
They got no Champions League footage to show them.
Yeah.
They showed the Vieira.
Right, who we going to get? This is it, man. We're
Yeah.
going to find out which one of the big boys we got.
Oh, I'm nervous. Why am I nervous?
You got Vinicius banging one in. You got Lautaro up to the fan.
Yeah.
Marco
You got
Reus,
Vieira.
Fabio Vieira,
Well, if we get drawn out-
stroking one at home in the Europa
We
League.
get drawn out first in
Bayern.
this, we know we've got Bayern, innit?
All right.
Okay. So you got the groups there, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Rob, man.
So Group A joining Bayern Munich.
Here we go.
I know it's Arsenal. Look, he's looking for the warmer one.
Hey, Joe Cole as well at op.
Come on, Joey.
Allow us, man. Not first. Not in the, not in the
I
group
just
stages.
know it's going to be Arsenal.
It's not.
It 100% is.
It's not.
It's written in the stars.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's
Borussia
Dortmund.
That is
So
a
they
bizarre-
can't
They
know.
can't
They
get
can't.
get
Oh,
Bayern,
of
so they'll have to
course.
go into another group.
So that excuse for the
the
reason why.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
changed
yeah.
is just
Stupidness.
No, but they can't. They now have to put them into. Would they go into
What
B?
do they go into now?
oh, it might go into B.
What's this? A separate.
What is this?
What is this?
Oh, so
Is this without?
this
without
is now
Borussia?
what group they can be in? Is it?
Is it?
But there's only like 4
Oh
groups
yeah,
in there.
yeah. So this will be the group that they will be in.
But
Yeah.
there was. They didn't look like there was 6.
Oh, that's
There's not- There
clever.
wasn't six balls. There was only four.
That is
so
clever.
this is one of the groups that they'll be in.
Oh, let's say
So
like a letter then.
they're in group
Oh, yeah, F.
F.
F,
F.
Okay.
which means they're in Man City.
No, PSG.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
They always
PSG.
Oh yeah,
Champions
PSG.
Yeah.
Borussia
I saw they
Dortmund in
always
the same group with PSG.
That'd be
That's
cool.
actually a very clever way.
So
to
we
do
can
it.
still
So wait,
get
they're gonna do it
Bayern.
again. Wait, they're doing.
Right, so let's
Now
see.
for Group A again.
Oh, for flip. Now it's gonna be yeah.
We got away with it first time.
If this, I swear this is rigged. If it is us.
Oh,
Oh, it's rigged! It's so rigged!
man, I
It's
told you.
so rigged!
I knew it, man. I knew we
It's
were
so
gonna get him.
rigged!
Calm down, man.
I
Calm
knew
down.
we were going to get
Calm
Bayern
down,
Munich.
man. This is
Bless,
you.
bro. It's
You
bless.
wanted this. It's your
calm.
energy.
It's calm.
It's you.
Bring it on.
No, I knew it.
So rigged.
Harry Kane.
Oh wait. They're doing this group. They're doing this group ball again, no?
No, we're in Bayern's.
No,
We're in
look,
Bayern's group,
they're
right?
not-
No,
they're
wait,
not-
they haven't
look,
added it
they're-
onto the screen.
They're putting the group.
Oh, so they're not doing it.
So we
that
didn't
way.
get.
Oh, so who have we got?
They might say Group A. It might say Group A.
So we
Who we
haven't
got?
got
Who we got? Who we
five.
got? All right, who we
Why
got?
did they do that?
It might say Group A. If it says Group A, this thing's a fix.
B.
B,
Sevilla.
Napoli.
Sevilla.
Yes! That's what
Is
I
it,
wanted.
Ed, you keeping a straight
Oh,
face.
Sevilla, yeah,
Yes,
man.
I would be.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah,
yeah,
I'll take
come
that.
on.
And that's a good trick
That's
too.
nice.
Yeah, get the sunglasses out, man.
Oh no, I was
Get
actually...
the sun cream, James, man. We got Sevilla.
Sevilla,
We got Sevilla. I'll take that, man. I'll take that.
I'll take
That's
that.
a
Even though they're a team with a rich European
So actually,
history.
there's no point even
All right, so this
getting
is what-
excited about who they're pulling out here.
No.
Exactly.
Oh, so-
That's because the first one couldn't go into that group.
So now they have to do
That's-
all of them like
So
that.
they have to. They've got to flip it and pick different to keep it fair.
To keep it fair.
Yeah.
But why is there only 2 balls
When
in
there's
this?
loads more groups.
Now, why is there only 2 balls in Atletico Madrid?
Probably so they don't.
Can I
catch-
just say, there's probably fans of other clubs whose teams have been in this the last few years who get all this.
Yeah,
And we're just there like,
It's been a
We
while.
don't know.
what's going on?
It's been a while.
Group E.
So Arsenal are with Sevilla.
That's beautiful.
So that's
So
Feyenoord
that's Feyenoord and Atletico Madrid.
Vamos, vamos,
Ooh,
vamos,
that
vamos,
means that, you
vamos.
know, you could get a PSG Barcelona then, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could
You
get a PSG Barcelona.
Can I just say, yeah, all these like club representatives are there keeping really calm. But like, you know, some of them deep down are going,
Man United.
you know what I mean?
Imagine
Man
us in
United,
there,
Barcelona. come
Man
on.
United up
Give,
next.
give them
Although
Bayern,
they
come
did
on.
beat Barcelona last time, didn't they? Yeah, let them get Bayern.
Yeah, that would be
Let
class.
them get Bayern, man.
So they can get.
Look, so the 3 flashing up. A.
There's 3 balls. 3
So they
groups.
could get, they
one
could
of
get
those.
Yeah, it
Bayern.
works.
They could get Bayern.
There'll
They
be
could-
some supercomputer.
They could get Bayern. They could get Napoli or
Can
Barcelona.
I get Real
innit?
Madrid? No. Real
They're gonna
Madrid.
get a
No.
hard
They
team.
could get Barcelona, yeah.
Can I get Madrid? Am I going crazy?
They can get Benfica.
No,
No,
Madrid
they're
are
in
in
pot
their
two.
pot.
Oh.
Hey, they got
Hey,
Bayern
look, Bayern
Munich.
Munich.
Look at
Man United have got Bayern. Woohoo!
Man
smiling
United,
turkey.
Bayern Munich.
Harry Kane
Yeah,
rolling
show-
down to
show-
Old
yeah.
Trafford, showing them why you should have signed him.
Facts.
Ooh, look, they're a little bit worried here. They try to keep a straight face, but That's the thing, innit? Because when the camera comes on you see what they're doing now.
Yeah.
So I'm being, yeah.
But inside the
They do this.
inside the figure, yeah, like Sevilla, yeah, take that.
RB Leipzig up next.
RB Leipzig.
I just know somewhere in London, the UK, Flex, Saeed, Culture Cams there.
In London.
They're smashing up their living room right now.
So, I've just been informed, paired clubs from the same country play on separate days. So when a paired club is drawn in A, B, C or D, the other paired club will be E, F, G or H. So basically,
there's more balls in there
Dortmund
now.
had to be on the other side of the draw
right,
to Bayern.
yes.
So it's RB Leipzig. Next up, group
Let's have a look.
That's very interesting.
G.
G. There must be a supercomputer
So
working
that's
this
Man
all
City.
out.
Is that Cities? Yeah, I
See,
thought so.
and
City.
they smashed RB Leipzig
Yeah.
to pieces
Yeah,
last time.
yeah.
It's
didn't
7
bad.
something.
7-0 or
crazy.
something.
Haaland got 5, innit?
Yeah. They'll be happy with that.
That's when they done what they done.
Bayern Munich
and then they
versus
done-
Man United. I really thought we had
Maybe
Bayern
Bayern's
then, and I
Man
felt
City.
okay
yeah,
about
Bayern.
it. I
I
felt
was gassed.
excited.
I was happy.
I was
I
not.
was about to throw my can, but now I'm happy, you know.
I'd have blamed you. I'd have blamed him for picking him out yesterday as well.
Inter Milan.
Inter Milan,
And up
Inter.
next. So Inter Milan.
And they can't get Napoli, can they?
cannot.
Napoli
So it's only Real Madrid.
Yeah,
Only
Zuri.
Real Madrid's group is flash. Oh no, it's not Real Madrid's group. Sorry, I can't see.
No, Real Madrid in pot 2.
I know. Sorry, but it's one flashing on the screen.
So they are, yeah. So they're
Benfica.
They're
meeting-
with
Oh, it's
Benfica.
Benfica.
They're with Benfica.
Inter Milan.
Inter
Sorry.
Milan with Benfica.
So it's really
So
small.
there's still Napoli in Group C and Barcelona in Group H to go.
So Porto.
FC
Porto.
So the rest
Porto.
should kind of pick themselves, should they, or not?
Porto,
Yeah.
looks like they're going into the
They're going to
Barcelona.
H.
They're going
Barcelona
to H.
Group H.
I gotta be honest, I don't quite get all this, but whatever. I don't care. We're in it.
We're
They've got
rusty.
Barcelona. No, Porto got Barcelona.
Something to do with TV.
So that's-
rights or
that's-
some shit.
Right. Okay.
We're rusty, man.
That's all of them, isn't it?
No, one more's left. And
Yeah.
it's only Napoli's Group C.
Yeah,
That's
Napoli. So
available,
Napoli are going to
so-
play.
He's being so careful. Just smash the ball
I know,
open.
he's proper.
Just to-
Real Madrid.
That'll be a good
That's
game.
that's
you know.
that's a
That'd be
tasty
a
one.
good
That's
game,
already
you
the
know.
makings of a group of death, innit?
That'll
Napoli,
Yeah,
Real
yeah.
Madrid.
That's a tasty
that'll
one.
If you're in pot 3, you don't want to be in that, do you?
That is
Oh,
already,
that
that's
is
the one
a
that-
tasty group. That
Man
is
United,
already.
Bayern Munich, Napoli, Real Madrid. A and C. That's the two that stand out so far.
Yeah.
Let me see. Sorry. Yeah.
So as they get ready for pot 3, let me run through the groups as they are at the moment. Group A is Bayern Munich and Manchester United. Group B is Sevilla and Arsenal.
Hey!
Group C, Napoli, Real Madrid. Group D, Benfica, Inter Milan. E, Feyenoord and Atletico Madrid. Group F, PSG and Dortmund. Group G, City, RB Leipzig. And Group H is Barcelona and FC Porto as they
Right.
get ready for pot 3.
So pot 3, who's in pot 3? Remind everyone, James is in pot 3 again.
In pot 3. Any minute now.
Shakhtar Donetsk. Sorry, I'll go.
Hey,
more.
Shakhtar Donetsk,
Yeah, go on.
Red Bull Salzburg, AC Milan, Braga, Lazio, Red Star Belgrade, PSV, Copenhagen.
Who you wanting, James?
I'd want to avoid.
I think I want AC Milan.
No, I want to avoid AC Milan.
Actually, I
man.
want AC Milan, yeah.
Do you want these hard? What?
It's just fun.
It's just fun. Until James on the fan cam saying,
Yeah, but you ain't been to these places and get rock up. You know what I mean? I have. Right, it's not fun. I'm telling you. Well, you got to do that flight on the way back home, man. It ain't fun.
Trust me.
tactical
but
insight
that's how
of how we lost.
That's how it
He
is.
just wants to go back to the homeland of his homeland.
We'll go
He
Italy.
just go Italy, innit?
My
But it'd be
nonna
like,
will
Rob,
make
is
us
it
some
alright?
nice
I go
food.
see
You heard
my
what he said,
auntie
he's
tonight and
his family are from
barely.
the Milan area. So that's why he's on about Milan.
No, they're all there. We'll go, and also they're all Inter Milan fans, so they'd love to come along. They'll get us some nice food. Why not?
I'll go to an Italian restaurant in London. Yeah. I want an easy group.
This guy's going to what are those dodgy Italian places?
Zizis.
Yeah, Zizzi's. Yeah,
Pizza Hut.
Prezzo.
carbonara is just
Pizza Hut.
spaghetti and milk.
There's the Pizza Hut
All right, here
sponsorship one.
comes.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
So is this now just straight
Pot 3
A?
now.
No, so now Shakhtar
Shakhtar.
Donetsk have been picked out at the
So
pot
they're going to-
3.
Okay, and
Do
it
they
could be
go into
any of it could be any of them. They're saying
They can only go into no.
No, you can only go into D, E,
I think the
F.
ones that are flashing are saying
Yeah, this.
Okay.
they could be any of them.
Okay.
So they could get Arsenal.
No, I don't. Oh, do you know what? You're not.
I feel sorry for whoever had to work this out.
It's a lot of bowls in it. Not as easy as our draw yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so simple.
Although the bowl looks quite similar. They didn't invest in anything special there.
See, they twist. You don't. We have to squeeze it.
Sorry.
Got a bigger budget than us.
Yeah,
Right.
fair.
Abidal. What have we got for me?
Great
What a player, but yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. TikTok's what a
Still
player.
looks in good shape.
H.
H. So
the
they
Barcelona
joined Barcelona and Porto. Shakhtar Donetsk have joined Barcelona and Porto.
Barcelona.
You see what I mean, right? That's just awkward for Barca.
Porto, Shakhtar.
They'll make it through.
Shakhtar's not. They're not the Shakhtar of old, are they? With all the Brazilian players and that. Remember, since the war, all those Brazilian players went.
Yeah.
They're not the same team.
Brandon says, "What's with the loser mentality? Why don't you want to see Arsenal versus Bayern? Bring on the damn pressure.
Later
Can't
on,
be a
man.
top
Later.
club.
Yeah, let's hope
Wait.
there's a later on.
Can't be a top club running."
Krasnodar, the
I don't
old
want
Red
this. I
Star
don't want
Belgrade.
this. I don't want this team.
Interesting to
Don't
see
want
if
Red Star Belgrade, I'll be honest.
the polls change at all.
I'll take Red Star.
Oh,
Because it's a winnable
that
game.
away there though. Yeah, I know, but boy.
Winnable game. Great place to go.
Yeah, watch it.
Great
Sessa,
atmosphere.
you ready to go to Red Star?
Great atmosphere. Great atmosphere.
Here we go.
I bet you would get them.
No, I
they
hope
get?
not. I hope not.
He had one in his hand for the last 10 minutes there. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Give me. I wouldn't even mind. I
on,
wouldn't mind
what are you
Milan,
drawing?
but
Red Star Belgrade
There's easier
against...
I want Copenhagen.
G. So that is Man City and RB Leipzig.
God, City, they'll
They'll roll over them, yeah.
Is that definitely Red Star Belgrade, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, they changed the
that's-
name.
Yeah, Krasnodar. That's an easy group for City, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Sailing through that.
Light work. Like Haaland's getting about 15 goals in it.
He's nice.
I don't want PSV. I don't want that. I'll be honest.
I don't want them just because we just had
it's just
them.
like, yeah,
it's
like,
just-
Yeah, that's when we already played them.
boring.
I'd actually
Allow
be really
that.
annoyed if we get them
I
because
don't
it's
wanna-
just dull.
No, I wasn't there, so I don't mind.
The
PSV.
away at the end is awful, bro. It's like
winnable,
in
though.
double nets, all in the corner.
A lot of
I know,
European
it's-
away.
I know it's
away,
true, but-
sections
Winnable, though,
are happening.
winnable.
And glass. It's just-
16,000 of you watching. Smash that like button.
Smash up that like.
Smash it.
Right, here we go.
Same.
Oh, we've got
The
not,
Arsenal.
please not A.
No,
please
not.
A.
What, you want us?
B.
B.
Oh no, we're
That is
B.
us.
Yeah, we
That
are
is
B.
us.
Oh,
We
I
are
thought we were A.
So it's
Oh,
P,
so
Shares,
annoying.
Man,
B.
that's so dead.
It's all right, it's all right. I
How
don't mind
close
that.
is Eindhoven to Amsterdam?
Very close. Speaking of the theme tune,
I wonder
to the
why.
Champions League, so we get that high again.
I like rivers and lakes, bro. What are you talking about?
You like that, yeah? And cycling, yeah. You
Nice
like
architecture.
Listen,
and
so far, that ain't bad, man.
No,
It's all right,
PSV,
it's all right.
Sports.
PSV,
I've got a
right?
Netherlands trip in there.
PSV and
It's close though.
I kept thinking we were group
And Sevilla.
A.
It's close. I think it's it's close.
Oh,
If I must go Eindhoven, I'll go.
PSV and Eindhoven.
Yeah, I know, but
PSV, Eindhoven and Sevilla.
no, yeah, like okay. I
Oh,
just,
right, nice.
We're looking all right.
Yeah.
man.
was we in a
So far.
Yeah, we was in a stadium.
I
last
just
time
wanted
as well.
someone different. We had them last year in the
Oh,
group.
do you know what though? They got a nice in our ground. They got a nice like bar on the pitch, on the corner of the pitch. Really nice.
This is F.
F.
AC Milan are
F.
with.
AC Milan have joined PSG and Dortmund, I believe. Yep.
That is a
So
good
that's a
group.
tasty group.
That is
That's a good
tough
group.
that is, man.
Fantastic group.
That's an exciting. That's gonna be a
That's a tough
great.
Quite
See,
big.
the owner of
Heritage in
PSG
that
trying to get a serious face.
Yeah.
Abdullah just reminding us when we were having confusions earlier, saying this. So all the clubs from the same country city don't play on the same day. Groups A to D on a match day, and groups E to H on another match day. Yeah, fair enough.
Be Salzburg, always a decent side. Haaland came from there, remember?
Have we closed the poll down? Can we just? I'm just going to screenshot the results. Production, can you redo the same poll, please? Now people know that so far we have Sevilla and PSV. I want to see the difference in people's predictions for how far we go, because group stage should go a hell of a lot down. Right now it's at 26%.
D.
D. So that
D.
group is
Salzburg.
Benfica, Inter Milan, and Salzburg.
That is Europa
Elliot from
League-ish.
Arsenal Vision saying we're putting the Europa League band back together. You got Sevilla have won it more than
Yeah, that's true.
anyone.
They've
PSV
two
from last
Europa League
yeah,
teams.
they've
knocked
Three
us
out,
Europa
yeah.
League teams in recent times,
Essentially,
isn't it?
yeah.
Although Sevilla have always been in the sort of Champions League and dropped out.
Dropped out, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's a good
They
draw
got
for
good,
us.
yeah. They
The
got
group of Europa.
Lazio.
good European heritage.
Lazio up next. Only one pot they can go in, and that is E.
And at United's group.
No, that is Feyenoord and Atletico Madrid.
Oh.
Lazio.
I like Lazio, though, you know.
So the only group left to draw out.
United
Oh no,
then.
two more groups. Group A,
United?
Bayern United, and Group C, Napoli, Real Madrid. So the two groups with heavyweights.
Yeah, they're the big, yeah. That's a
Who else we got left in this pot off the top of my head?
At Braga.
There's Copenhagen.
Got Copenhagen and Braga.
So one of those groups have got.
FC Copenhagen.
And Braga.
1,000 votes already.
Who were they going to?
Is that the new poll?
Yeah.
Let's see how it looks.
Braga always a decent side, you know. Loads of Brazilian players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Copenhagen go into group.
They can be with Man City, I reckon.
Could we get Man United?
Oh, no.
Man United they could get, you know?
Yeah, Man United, they can.
United and it's United and Bayern. So
United and
Copenhagen
Bayern, yeah.
have joined United and Bayern in Group A. There you go.
Someone's just made the point. It's PSV without Gakpo and Simmons.
Very, true.
Oh, and Xavi did a madness.
And you know what?
twice.
They drew 2-2 with. I know they smashed Rangers to pieces yesterday.
Oh yeah.
But they drew with 2-2 with
remember that,
Rangers
yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
So
Was there a red card in that game? I'm sure someone done 10 men, I think, in that game. as
Just to
well.
confirm, Braga have been pulled out and they joined Napoli and Real Madrid. So all
that's tough
groups
for Braga, mate. Jeez.
have now been drawn up until pot 3.
So we're going to pot 4. Are you going to remind everyone who's in pot 4, James?
Would you like me to?
I'd love you to.
Real
Chill out over there.
He looked bored, like he's like, I want to know what's in my pot for dinner.
I'd love you to.
He's all in big destinations. He was dreaming
Yeah,
of
Milan.
Barcelona.
We didn't get our wish, James, man. Well, I got PSV. I'll take you Amsterdam,
Eindhoven,
bro.
mate.
I'll show you Amsterdam, man. Don't worry about it.
Do you know what? I'll come with the Turkish. Real Sociedad, Galatasaray, Celtic, Union Berlin, Lens, Young Boys, and Antwerp.
Ooh, what about Celtic? Would you fancy Celtic?
I'll take Celtic.
That'd be a nice trip, wouldn't
I
it?
prefer Galatasaray, but I'll take Celtic.
So I wouldn't. But
Celtic.
It'd be good.
I think
It'd be good.
Sociedad
It'd be
are the
good
ones I really want to
to
avoid.
see, but
Sociedad a
tough
good
game.
side, and of course Kieran Tierney's at Sociedad now, and would be able to play.
Oh wow! Really, the goal they show for Galatasaray is a deflected free kick. Come on.
Newcastle in this group as
Celtic.
well. I know, so we can't play them, but Newcastle.
Celtic would be a tough place to go to. Obviously, Newcastle we can't get, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, Newcastle could end up
They
in
could
that
end-
group of death. You know?
Yeah,
that'd
they
be-
could end up in a really
PSG,
tough group.
Dortmund, AC Milan, Newcastle United.
Yeah,
I will be there. I will.
be there. Oh, so good to be back.
Those
Is it?
DR
I mean, so
Sports
good to be there for the
watch-alongs.
first time.
Royal Antwerp,
Welcome.
man.
Nah, I want Newcastle in Group
I want
A or
Royal
Group C.
Antwerp.
I want Lons.
There can't be an A with United.
Oh yeah, C then. Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga.
No, you said Union Berlin, didn't it, Rob?
Union Berlin,
Lons would be nice.
Royal Antwerp.
That'd be
Imagine.
the-
Can I just say, imagine Real Madrid, the European royalty Real Madrid, going to St James's Park on a Wednesday night, just getting screamed at.
But you
The
know what?
atmosphere
Like, when I
would
was
be-
growing
that
up,
would just be.
when I was growing up, Newcastle
amazing.
we're in Europe. I remember.
Yeah,
Remember
they used to be in
Aspria?
Europe.
Remember Aspria?
Yeah,
used to-
Aspria.
No, but I just mean
players.
like what a tie.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
would
yeah.
be unbelievable. The atmosphere there.
All right, they're getting ready
Good to
to
see
draw
Newcastle,
from
man.
pot 4.
Right, here we go.
Club first, group second.
So
Remember where it be.
That said,
the team is Sociedad.
Real
yeah.
Sociedad.
Sociedad. With
Kieran
Kieran
Tierney.
Tierney's team.
KT.
That's why he went there. Champions League football.
So Real Sociedad can go into
Zubermendy
a-
still there?
Said he spoke to
Good player that is.
Martin Odegaard.
Yeah, because
before.
Odegaard used to be there.
A lot of players have played for both. Cazorla,
Yeah.
one of them.
Yep.
Was it
side.
Cazorla? Monreal.
Yeah. That's right, yeah, Monreal. Good side.
Nacho.
Abadal.
Right. What will we be, right?
About to unveil the group. We are B. I thought we were A for ages.
Ace.
So,
I don't want
Sociedad.
Sociedad. I don't want Sociedad. No, don't say B. Don't say B. Don't say B. Don't say
D.
D.
So Real Sociedad joined Benfica, Inter Milan, and Salzburg. Group
Benfica,
completed. Wouldn't mind facing
It's quite an
second
even
in that
group, innit?
group
That's
or
quite an
first in
even
that
group,
group.
that.
Yeah, that's meaty group from on paper. On paper. Before they start getting at me.
Next up,
Oh,
Cole's got the
Come on, Joe Cole.
paper in this. Newcastle.
can't be
Newcastle,
us.
so it can't be us.
Give them.
Do you know how many
So how
Newcastle
does this
fans are watching this now? Just I wonder if
Matty
Newcastle
get
fans
rid-
want Real
Why,
Madrid.
man?
No,
or-
I think they want a tough. I think they want. Yeah, I think they do want
that
it.
group of
Real
death guys? Did you hear the names in
PSG.
that?
What was that? PSG.
Enjoy it, man. You're
Nah.
in Europe.
Yeah, for the neutral, I would love for
you
them to
only
go
enjoy it
there,
for a
but
while, though.
No, I think
The
they
neutral
love
for
it.
them, that'd be
they
great,
they want
but-
to travel to these places. 100%.
see the team get battered.
Newcastle.
Newcastle got who?
What's that group of death? What is it? What is it?
I'd say there's two groups of death. Napoli, Real Madrid is a group of death.
What's the letter?
What letter is it? We'll give it letters.
That's C.
That's a dry one, no?
Joins PSG, Dortmund,
No.
AC
That's
Milan.
That is
a group of
wicked.
death.
Yes, it is.
That is a group of death,
Yes.
man.
What
PSG.
Are you
group.
mad? That is bad.
That's a group
That
of
is
death.
wicked. Go on.
Death, man. People have died already in that group.
Lad.
Should I be honest?
What?
I'm
Mbappe
jealous.
goes. What?
I'm not, I don't want that group.
Mbappe goes to
Nah,
St James's
man.
Park. Love it.
This is going to be prime time viewing. Galatasaray out next.
Oh, we
is
can still get
brilliant.
Galatasaray.
Yeah, let's
That is
let's
brilliant.
Who have we got?
Oh my god, that is quality.
I've got to say, that is going to make
What? Dan Burn
for some
Mbappe.
great time. Dan Burn Mbappe.
Quality.
Oh, that's a nice matchup, that is.
That is quality.
Let's Galatasaray up next.
It's gonna be us, isn't it? I mean,
Hurry up,
you
mate.
could show me around the, your bits.
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be good.
I think I want Celtic, you know.
Pause. Just gonna throw that in there.
Yeah, you just done a mad team.
Yeah.
Galatasaray have got.
Don't say B actually. Don't. I'm not fussed.
Hey!
Oh, that is
Bayern Munich,
Bayern
Man United, and
Galatasaray.
Copenhagen.
That is a
That's-
good group.
that's-
That's a good group.
That's an awkward group, isn't it?
That's a strong group.
Galatasaray always got a decent side.
Flex,
Yeah.
good luck out there, mate.
But Galatasaray don't travel well, do they? You know what I mean?
Nah.
When they come to England, they don't travel well. I think United be happy with that.
Wilfred Zaha, you know.
I can't, but
This could be us. This could be us,
Union
bro.
Berlin.
This could be us.
Union Berlin.
B.
Right.
Belgium.
Union Berlin up
it can
next.
only be B or C, guys.
Yeah, so we got a 50% chance of getting them.
Oh no, it's not Belgium. Sorry, yeah.
So it's Union Berlin up next.
Yeah.
Two possible
Bro,
groups,
Antwerp's
B or C.
Belgium. Come on.
Berlin, my favourite German city.
This is way more fun.
I'd like to go there.
Berlin's nice.
I'd like to go there. Never been there. It's a B.
C? We've avoided Union
So
Berlin.
Union
Avoided
Berlin.
Union Berlin.
So who's
Join
left?
Napoli, Real
get
Madrid,
Celtic,
and
man.
Braga.
We
Celtic.
could
Who
get
else is
Celtic.
left?
That's a hard group for them, isn't it?
Who else is left, people? I
Hard
had
group
it
there
up.
for Union Berlin.
Let's see if I can get it up.
Right, come on, Joe Cole. We could get Celtic, though.
Yeah.
Young boys.
Young boys.
next.
Come on, off.
These years.
Come on, easy. Oh, nice easy ride.
Come on. Come on, B. Pick it out.
Look what happens when we lose 2-0 at Young Boys.
Yeah,
And AFTV Extra gets hold of this.
Come on. These are in my group in our mock draw. If you haven't seen that, check out our mock draw on the channel.
Young boys
B, come on, B. B,
going
B,
three
B,
groups.
B, B, B,
B. 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 B.
I don't want them, I'll be honest.
I do.
I like these little
Yeah.
away trips where they're just like different. I like them.
G.
G.
So Union Berlin join Man City,
Look at
RB
this.
Leipzig, and Red Star Belgrade.
My Young Boys joint. Yeah.
City.
Man City's got the
Man
easiest
City, man.
group.
They're going to get about 100 goals in that
Yeah,
group.
Haaland's breaking the record by the time the
Jesus.
knockouts come.
They can put their feet up for the whole group.
We're gonna get Celtic, man.
Calvin Phillips might get a game.
So there's still three
Lons.
teams
Calvin
left.
Phillips might
Lons.
get a
Lons are a decent side, you know, in
They
France.
done well last year. They surprised a lot of people. And they can only join.
They can only get us, is that
They
right?
can only. It
There
seems like they can
we
only join
go.
us.
They
yeah,
can only get us, so they're in,
Lons
have
they're in our
Lons.
group. So we got Lons.
completes
Lons.
the
I don't
group.
mind that.
Sevilla,
But the
PSV,
tickets-
Lons.
Man's there.
So the Arsenal group is complete, people. Group B: Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV
Oh,
Eindhoven, and Lons.
I wanted Celtic. Celtic are going to be in a group of death then as well, aren't they? Ain't that E a group of death?
What's that boss?
Now,
Is that
Group E has Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, and Lazio. Group H has Barcelona, Porto, and Shakhtar
Yeah,
Donetsk.
they don't want F, do they? You don't want F if you're a Celtic fan.
Celtic will be joining Group E. Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic.
That's not a bad group for Celtic.
Yeah, that's not.
Atletico will be the favourites for that group, aren't they?
Yeah.
Finals are tricky, so I think this final can be tricky.
Final team, that's got to be Royal Antwerp, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
that's
wanted
it.
them,
I was
man.
trying to think of it. Royal Antwerp.
They join a tough group, though, innit? They join.
They join Barcelona,
Yeah, that's-
Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk in Group H, and that completes the
not
group.
too
Be there for the vibes.
Yeah, they.
That's a tough group, man.
That is yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm
Barcelona,
happy,
Porto,
man.
Shakhtar.
But there's also
I'm happy.
opportunity to finish second in that group,
Yeah.
you know, so that they should
So it's
fight for that.
complete.
I'm happy.
all done.
I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm
Complete.
happy.
Arsenal, Sevilla, PSV, and RC Lons. And like you said, it's kind of like if you drew that in the Europa League, you'd be like,
Yeah, standard.
Yeah.
because Sevilla, always in the Europa
Yeah.
League. They start off in the Champions League, but always drop into the Europa League.
Do well in it as well.
PSV,
Up and down.
more or less in the Europa League all the time, and Lens, not even normally in Europe, and if they are, they're in the Europa League. So there's
group
no
we should
real
win.
team in there with
It's a group we should win.
big pedigree of being in the Champions League, and that for me, I'm just talking personally, that is a winnable group. That is a group
Yeah.
without being, without being arrogant. I feel we're supposed to win that group, even with Sevilla in it and their European pedigree, which is way better than ours, by the way. We're supposed to win that group because Sevilla, not in a great moment at the moment. PSV, good side, we know, but we're supposed to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And Lens, we're supposed to. At the very least, I think we should be beating those teams at home, shouldn't we?
Yeah,
we should be able to go,
100%.
and we should be able to go to at least one of them places and get a positive result. away. I'm happy with that group, man.
Home form's a bit.
Yeah,
mad,
look,
right?
if you're talking about Arsenal's chances of going through, we could have had far worse groups. You could have had AC Milan in there from pot 3. You could have had any one of PSG, Barcelona, Bayern Munich from pot 1. So yeah, in that sense, it's gone a way I think Arsenal will be fairly positive about.
It's easy. You've got United's group, though. They've got Bayern Munich,
I think they are.
Copenhagen, Galatasaray. I mean, decent group for them. City have got the easiest group in the English team, don't they?
Easy.
Easiest.
I still think that those are awkward away games for Arsenal. That we should win them, and pick up points. But awkward, I think. Obviously, I'm confident we'll go through, and we could have had a much harder
I
group.
look at that group and say 5 wins minimum.
I hope you're right.
It should be 5 wins.
I just think away days in the Champions League. I just think they're just awkward.
Because even teams like PSV, when we went there and we did we lose or draw?
We lost. We got absolutely
We
battered,
lost.
actually.
We lost, but it wasn't the full Arsenal team, was it?
No, it wasn't.
No.
But
You know what I mean? That's where it's going to be a difference this year. We won't go to those places
Like,
with a light team. We go in there to try and win those games. So,
Getting messages from the
I mean,
PF.
look at that group that Newcastle are in, man. PSG, Dortmund, Milan, Newcastle.
who's going through?
That is the
Looks
group
like-
of death.
Pick the two. Who's going through from Group F? PSG, Dortmund, Milan,
I'd
Newcastle.
say PSG, Milan. Milan have got put together a decent team this year.
I'm saying PSG, Newcastle. And they'll do it.
I'm saying PSG Newcastle.
I'm saying PSG, Milan. I'm getting messages from a
No one back in Dortmund.
PSV fan who we met out last time to box to box said, looks like we'll meet again. we got the PSV.
Didn't we beat them at home, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we lost to them away. So,
yeah.
Sevilla, all right, we haven't played them. We played them, remember that time we played them in the Emirates Cup?
yeah.
But you can't judge it off of that. We absolutely smashed them, but you can't judge it off of that. Lens, we haven't really played. But honestly, we cannot argue, compared to what Newcastle have just got. You say you're jealous. I'm not. They'll be jealous of us. That is a winnable group. Get through the group stages. Don't drop down into no Europa League or nothing. Get through that comfortably. And the thing about that, as I said, if we get off to a great start, get our job done early, you can possibly think in the end now,
When's not-
do we have to go with we could have tough teams come December.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could have I remember December's a tough run of, games throughout that month. If you do at all have a chance to maybe rest a couple or whatever, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but it gives you the chance to do
Yeah,
that.
you can rebuild
So-
in January as well. Knockouts, if you get through to like the quarters, semis, and what's that? It's like April. It's later on in the new year, right? So you can potentially rebuild, be strong enough to then really compete for this Champions League as well. So I think you're right. I think it's important to get through these group stages.
It's important to top the group because when I look around at the other groups, when you consider one of the difficult groups is Group A with Bayern and United. If United finish second, we can't get United in the last 16. So I'm really looking at Group C, Napoli and Real Madrid, and saying, obviously, whoever finishes runners up there, no one who wins their group wants to play them. But that is the only one. Aside from that group, yes, you have Group F with PSG, Dortmund, AC and Newcastle, but I fancy us. So to top the group.
Just by the way, should I just run through the groups?
Yeah.
Who got what, right? So, excuse me, Group A is Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Copenhagen and Galatasaray. And of course, you'll get Harry Kane, going into Old Trafford and stuff like that. Group B, this is Arsenal's group. Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV and RC Lens of France. Group C, Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga and Union Berlin. Group D, Benfica, Inter Milan, RB Salzburg and Real Sociedad. Group E, Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio and Celtic. Group F, this is the real group of death, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan and Newcastle United. Group G, the group of life, if you're a Man City fan, Man City, RB Leipzig, Red Star Belgrade and Young Boys. And Group H is Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk and Royal Antwerp. Those are the groups.
The group of life.
If you're a Man City fan, that's a group of life.
I've got Lee Judges and Julian blowing up my phone about the nightlife in these places. They're sending me spots already.
Sevilla will be a great trip.
Sevilla will be a great trip.
Will be. They all be to fancy, to be fair.
Lee and Julian are legends.
We've got some super chats. T-Sal says Xavi Simons, Gakpo, Madueke, all on last year's team, no longer there. Harry says, poor Newcastle, they've been set right up. Come on, you Gunners. I think they'll be delighted with it, honestly. A guy called Robbie, not your Robbie, saying Celtic Park, one of the best atmospheres in Europe, on paper 10 times better, but the atmosphere is always worth a goal to them. Best away day by far. Manpreet says we need to learn how to win against Fulham first, and yeah, I hear that. We do then have the result of the polls. There is one more super chat, apologies. Firas says we are about to see world-class performances at St James's Park, and then 11,000 of you voted, with 31% saying the quarter-final for Arsenal. Last 16, 27%, final 25%, 18%, semi-final.
PSV have that Ibrahim Sangare.
He's been linked with a move away.
Forrester.
Serious?
Nottingham Forest are trying to sign him.
They're trying to sign every...
But yeah, it's a fair play to those Dutch teams, right? They sell players and then they just replenish with excellent players again.
He's a good player.
And as I said, they were very impressive against, I know it's Rangers, but they were very impressive yesterday. I think it's 5-1 they beat them, but they did draw against Rangers in the first leg. So, and Sevilla, as I said, they look good, but could they lose a few players? And Nesri,
they've lost all their games so far as well. They haven't started
but they're a funny team, Sevilla, because
in the Euro,
they'll be like that. But then when it comes to a European, look what they did with United.
I know.
They've got a great atmosphere at Sevilla.
Just seen a tweet by West Ham Online, just reminding everyone that Newcastle have also drawn Man City in the third round of the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, they have. They have.
So it hasn't gone their way. AFC Max says...
It's at home, isn't it? I think
it is,
at home, yeah.
Man City fans got to deal with the Red Star police snipers. Robbie knows.
So when I went to Red Star, that's true. So when he went to Red Star, when you get near to the ground, up on some roof,
no way,
near the ground, there was some snipers there. There was some police with guns, looking down on people like that, just to And Red Star, Red Star after the game, they kept us back in there for about 2 hours. Not 1 hour, 2. Because number one, their fans are unbelievable. I've never seen a louder stadium.
It looks incredible. The atmosphere looks incredible.
They lifted up a tifo at half time, right? A massive tifo that covered the whole of one end, right? And then they kept it up for about 10 minutes. That means everybody behind that couldn't see a thing.
Yeah.
Then when they unveiled it, the roar, oh my God. Honestly, their atmosphere was incredible. I think we beat them 1-0 and they were still going nuts. And then they kept us in for about 2 hours. And then there was Arsenal fans going, I remember this Arsenal fan goes to the policeman, he goes, how long are you going to keep us in? We want to go home, let us out. And the policeman turned around and said, "It's for your own good." He goes, "I tell you, for your own good, you stay here." I thought to myself, I'll stay here 3-4 hours.
I thought it was worse, the wait time or the accent.
I've never seen as many flares in my life, right, as I did when I went to Red Star. The atmosphere is crazy. So, that atmosphere is what we won't be going there. And it makes them quite formidable at home.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It makes them quite formidable. But there's a lot of teams like that. I mean, your Galatasarays and that, It's unbelievable atmosphere. So that's the thing. If you can go away, if you win your home games, it's very important because there are some of these players, even RC Lens got a great atmosphere there, right? So that'll be a tricky away day. You know what I mean? That'll be a tricky place to go to away. Sevilla. You saw when they played Man United, that place was lit. I remember watching that game.
Same.
Their atmosphere is incredible. It's hot. You know what I mean? That won't be an easy game away from home. So we've got to win our home games. And, you know, you went to PSV last season. Great atmosphere. So every team's... it's the Champions League, man. And this is it. Everybody's up for it. Everybody's up for it. And that's what the difference... Even though you get great atmospheres as well, especially any time Arsenal went away in the Europa League. But to me, it's a different game. You go in the Europa League, it's a much changed team, 8 changes, 9 changes. You can never predict a team away.
No, I remember...
You can't do that in this.
I remember when you see that, you know, the Champions League ball in the middle of the pitch, the music. Listen, the players haven't had that yet. The Europa League music doesn't do that to them. It doesn't do that to us fans. But when you hear the Champions League music, you know tonight is serious. It doesn't matter if you're playing Young Boys or Real Madrid. Do the job.
I'll tell you one thing, every Tottenham fan must be at home banging their head against the wall. How did Arsenal manage to get a group like that? They all wanted us to be in a group of ultimate death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Real Madrid, PSG, and I don't know.
They probably wanted Bayern with us so they could
they all wanted Bayern. They all wanted us to get Bayern with Harry Kane, but we've avoided that. And I'm happy, man. I'm happy with that group.
Yeah,
I really am.
What were you all saying? We win in the group? I'm saying we're winning the group.
Yeah, we're supposed to win that group.
I mean, it's not. Listen, you can't judge that. It can be that simple, but we expected to top that group 100%.
Bring in one more signing though. Come on, one more.
Yeah, no, we got
get depth in defence, and I think we're well stacked. And then whatever we need to add in January.
Whilst you're on that, James, you're right. I think tomorrow, deadline day, we need. It's been pretty quiet today. I thought I might hear a bit of bubbling up. You know, of Arsenal being linked with various players, but I've not really heard much today at all.
Even outgoings as well. I expected some today. I expect
tomorrow. There'll be a lot of out. You know, I think Arsenal done very well.
You think tomorrow
with outgoings?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think tomorrow's going to be mostly outgoings. So I'd be surprised if we get a signing. And this is coming from someone who thinks we need another signing.
What do you think we need?
For me, this season, I know Arteta's coming with a plan B, let's say, but the plan B doesn't look different enough to the plan A to me. I've always wanted a different profile of striker. So in the last 10, 15, if you need to do a plan B, and when I mean plan B, I mean completely different to what you do in plan A, where it might be to target man, run off of him. That's the player I would want. So even though Timber's been injured, that's still the player I want, because I think defensively, we've got the numbers for sure.
The numbers, the quality is different.
I don't know if we do have the numbers.
I don't think we do.
I think we was unfortunate last season with Saliba and Tomiyasu getting injured at the same time.
And that's why you've got to cover it off, because it could happen again. And that's why Timber was brilliant, because he was so... Remember, Timber could play as a centre-back. Timber could play because he was a centre-back at Ajax. Timber could play as a right-back, left-back. He can even play as a defensive midfielder. He's so versatile, right? You've lost that player. Now, as I said right at the start of the show, you know what I mean? We've got Saliba, who's had a lot of, injured for 2 months at the end of the season, 3 months. You know, Tomiyasu, he was injured so much last season, if you actually check it out. You know, Zinchenko was injured a lot. You got them 3. Back problems is what Saliba had. He could easily... Something like that could come around again, or even start to feel that where you're like, yo, let's take him out for a bit. So I just feel that we have to make a defensive signing before the end of this transfer window. We really do.
You know the way I look at it?
There's one right back. You got Tomiyasu as well.
And Ben White.
Like left back. We've got Zinchenko, Tomiyasu, Kiwior. Right back, we've got Ben White, Tomiyasu, Thomas Partey. Centre backs, we've got Gabriel, Saliba, Kiwior, Ben White, Tomiyasu.
I get what you're saying.
Thomas Partey also injury prone, and as I said, could go to the African Cup. Well, probably will go to the African Cup of Nations. I just think, I will be absolutely shocked if we don't get a defender tomorrow. Right? We got rid of Tierney on loan. We didn't even get no money for him. We got a loan fee for him. But if we're not bringing in someone along that back line, then that makes no sense whatsoever.
I agree.
To have sent Tierney to Real Sociedad. It makes no sense. Got to bring someone in.
Surafels just reminding us that Tonali is going to be making an appearance back at AC Milan.
Oh yeah.
And that's a great spot there. Mum Racketeer says, I really wanted Bayern Munich. Starboy Saka says, I do think like our road to Wembley starts. Yeah, I hope this is the start of our road to Wembley. A couple more coming in. FC Max says, didn't Turkish predict and pick the 3 teams that we got in real life? Did you?
Sevilla, I definitely had, but didn't I have Lazio and remember when we did the mock draw? It was Sevilla I had. But
Did you have Lens?
I don't think so.
Don Silva
I'll check
says,
for you.
Turkish, you're wrong. We need another fullback desperately, way more than a striker. Manpreet says, disappointing transfer window we had. 1 great player, 1 injured, 1 sub goalkeeper, and 1 mediocre reject. Ooh.
Listen, we had a fullback in Kieran Tierney. When you look at the way Arteta's forming his fullbacks, they're not natural fullbacks. So judging by what Arteta wants to do, I'd like to add an addition into the attack because of that. Do I disagree with your point about needing another fullback? Yes, but I would have kept Tierney. So looking at what Arteta wants to do, I'd like another attacker because...
Yeah. Abdullah says, I disagree with Turkish. We don't have numbers. Centre-backs, Saliba, Gabriel, White, Kivior. Full-backs, Zinchenko and Tomiyasu. Count Thomas as a right-back? No, we need a lefty.
You just named 4 centre-backs. And you didn't name Tomiyasu. So let's just say 4. Let's just say 4 centre-backs. Look at the other clubs, Man City and Liverpool. And how many centre-backs do they have?
Yeah, but one of them centre-backs is Ben White, his name, right, that really plays as a right-back.
Yeah, but he look, recently he's been starting as a centre-back.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just feel that if Tierney's gone, I'm worried with the injury situation. It all looks great now. It just takes 1 injury and then we're light.
I agree.
You
I
know,
completely
we're light.
agree.
And
I think...
Kivior, come on, he can't play as a left-back. We saw that the other day.
He can't do left centre-back, not
What
left back.
I want, but the manager's doing it, so I can only form my opinion based on what I think he wants to do. And I think he thinks he's got enough.
I look at the midfield area, I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? Because you've got Partey, you've got Declan Rice, you've got Jorginho. He's got, by the way, his European experience will count in these sort of things. You know what I mean? If we keep Smith Rowe, we've got to keep Smith Rowe in my books. You've got Havertz.
Odegaard, Vieira.
Right? You've got Odegaard, Vieira.
Yeah, Trossard could play. You can figure that out.
Yeah,
and even with the forwards, you can figure it out.
Yeah, up front you've got Martinelli, you've got Trossard, you've got Reece Nelson, and it's a Reece James there. Reece Nelson, you've got Saka. Probably you should have got maybe a cover for Saka, but it's not the end of the world. You got Eddie, you got Jesus. You can also play, versatile players who could play in different positions. I get you on, having a different type of, but who is that player?
It's hard
and Arteta doesn't want that.
Maybe
player,
that, that guy at Sevilla, that Nesri, he impressed me when they played City.
Just to confirm.
Definitely at the back for me, it looks a bit light.
Yeah, just confirm your picks for the mock draw was Sevilla, Lazio, and Union Berlin.
Yeah, so I got 1 out of there.
Yeah, so that was wrong from the super chat.
Gunnar Shab says, guys, do you think this group draw will determine a signing or leave it till January when it gets serious? I think Timber injury length will come into it. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that earlier.
But what do you think now that you've
I think January.
What do you think now that you've heard the draw? Because you were saying if we've got a really tough draw, does that kind of force us into...
I'll be honest, right? I'm seeing a lot of celebrating on Twitter about that draw. Everyone's saying we've got a Europa League draw. More often than not, unless you're in the group of death, you're going to have teams in that pot 3, pot 4 that feel more Europa League than Champions League. I don't actually think that's some piss easy draw. I think PSV, Sevilla away, and I don't know enough about Lens, are all we should win, but would I be surprised if we drop points there? No.
Do you think Man City would be wary of the group we're in?
They'd be popping champagne, man.
But what's their group? Leipzig?
They've got an easy group.
Yeah, they got an easy group. But I just mean if Man City were in this group.
Young boys, I think they got in there.
Yeah, Young Boys and Red Star Belgrade. That's way easier than Lens.
Yeah, but they'd still think this one's easy.
They'd think this is easy as well.
Yeah, they'd think this day. Yeah.
And we should go through top and fairly comfortably. I just think there are some... I'm using the word awkward, not difficult.
I don't think it'll be comfortable. I think we'll be top, though. I think we should be. We should definitely be top.
I don't think Arteta's rotating for any of those games.
Since we're here, one question all round before we do wrap it up. 6 games. Okay, I'll start. 6 games played. I'm going for 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, and we qualify top of the group.
But the fact that we've been drawing and losing one suggests that there's some awkwardness in there.
Well, towards the end, when I expect us to have picked up our 3-4 wins in the early stages.
For what's worth, that's what I think. That's what I'm predicting.
I think I'm with you as well. Maybe 2 draws instead of.
I was teetering on that, but Arteta's European.
But easy group suggests to me 5 wins and a draw, 6 wins. And I don't think we have that.
We haven't got that.
What do you think?
I think looking at that group, we could easily do that. Yeah.
What, 6 wins?
not 6 wins,
5 wins,
because you know we ain't been in Europe for a while, but certainly in that group I could see.
I haven't seen enough from Arsenal.
It's 3 games in. If I go off of last season and stuff like that, if I go off of our squad, right, I see home wins in all of those three games. I see 2 wins away and a draw.
Okay, 5
or
wins.
maybe maybe 1 loss away. I don't know where, but I see 3 to 4 wins in that group. 4 wins in that group, I see.
Minimum.
Nitra
Which
says,
gets you through.
my God, City can play their B team. There was, apologies, some other super chats. We read Gunnar Shabs. Lars says, what do you think about PSV? Yeah, we chatted about them. He's mentioned that they smashed Rangers. And Cesar says, I believe Tierney was sent to Sociedad to learn the passing and technical control Mikel demands. Remember, yeah, I mean, no, I think he just picked a club and they were interested. But
When he comes back, he'll be sold.
and he says Arsenal might not get out the group stage if Zinchenko's at left back. Timber is a big loss. Oh, that's harsh. All right, I think we'll wrap it up there. Just a reminder: Arsenal, Sevilla, PSV, and Lens. Group B. Man United drew Bayern Munich. That was the one of the big bits of news. Newcastle got AC Milan, Dortmund, and PSG in their group. Napoli will face Real Madrid in their group as well. And who was the other English club? With Man City, Leipzig, and a couple.
They're top of the group. Qualified already.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, everyone. A big thanks to everyone on the panel who's joined. A big thanks to the 16,000 of you live who joined us. Go hit the like button if you enjoyed this stream. Subscribe to AFTV. From tomorrow, we'll be keeping you up to date with everything, minute by minute, as it happens with deadline day. Any bit of breaking news, we will be live here on AFTV to react and cover it. We're expecting a lot of outgoings, but hopefully one surprise incoming, because I think we all agree as a panel that Arsenal need one. So like I said, we'll be covering you throughout the day, all the way till 11 p.m. to that deadline. Go check out DR Sports as well if you are following other clubs, not just Arsenal, where there will be full coverage of deadline day. And then, if you haven't seen all the super fan debates and stuff coming out for the Man United game, coverage of that starts today, but from Saturday we'll be back on it after deadline day as well. So much on AFTV. Stay locked in here. Turkish Cecil, big thanks. Robbie, always a pleasure. Overall happy?
Yep.
Happy?
Could be happier.
Book the tickets, let's go!
Very happy. And by the way, what's they doing there, man? Get home, man. You know what I mean? We've got
Get on that phone.
We've got work to do, man.
Big thanks, everyone. Catch you very soon.